Okay, first of all, how sick is this lighting? Red and blue. We were playing against Ipswich. I thought, let's match it. I'm still working on the new background, but this is kind of the beginning stages of it. Another thing to mention before we talk about the game, I'm currently sick. I had a pub meal for Christmas and clearly caught something there. So that's always nice. My throat is absolutely killing me. But do you know what? Arsenal have won. We're second. I've felt worse. Thank you to Arsenal for giving me a win there when I needed it most. I needed an energy pickup. To be fair, was it a very good game though? I would argue it was slow. It felt like half the team was still sitting at their tables eating Christmas dinner. But do you know what? 1-0 is 3 points, clean sheet, second in the table. That's all that matters. So bear with me because my throat is hurting so much. I don't want to talk too quickly. Timber getting man of the match, even though it was Havertz technically. I think he got given man of the match because of the goal. But Timber was brilliant today, wasn't he? He's just everywhere. Saliba, Gabriel, Lewis Skelly. Oh my God. You know, we talk about Saka being the star boy. We talk about Waneri coming through being the next star boy. Should we be talking more about Lewis Skelly and just how outrageously confident he is? Just a reminder that Lewis Skelly isn't even a left back. He's 18 years old. He's coming into that left back position. Obviously, he's moving into midfield, doing the inverted kind of Zinchenko role. But my God, I mean, I'm sitting there thinking, how's Calafiori going to get a look in? Obviously, I would start Calafiori. Clearly, he's not 100% fit yet, but well done, Lewis Skelly. Genuinely incredible. And you know what? Havertz in midfield kind of worked today. Obviously, we started Jesus, but then when Jesus came off, we had Havertz go through into that central forward position, and he did fine there as well. I just think Havertz, sometimes when he's playing in midfield, gets a little bit lost in the crowd, whereas when he's playing as the number 9, he's got that just simple role, just be in the middle and get goals. He took his goal. It was an interesting finish. He took it well, kind of, with his weaker right foot. Did it hit his shin a little bit? I don't really know, but what a relief to see that go in. It just felt like it could be one of those games where, I mean, you can see with their lineup, the 5-4-1, it was basically 5-5-0 at times. It was just 10 men behind the ball constantly, and I just wasn't sure if we would have enough to break them down because we did look very lethargic, but fair play. Trossard with a great bit of play there. Rice and Erdegaard, fantastic in the build-up. Havertz gets his goal. And by then, you know, when we scored, we were already dominating. I expected us to go on and get 2 or 3. But in reality, I guess, I mean, Ipswich never looked dangerous until literally this moment here right at the end when they had a couple of moments. But this was just a bit of a stroll in the park, I think. And that's the best way to put it. I'm trying to be respectful because Ipswich are obviously a good side and they're set up very well. McKenna's a good manager. But I do feel like it's not just them. It's any team that are clear underdogs when they come to the Emirates. They come not to win. They come to just be a pain. Just don't lose, you know, and just defend. And that is the price you pay when you're one of the top sides. You play good attacking football. Other teams are going to be defensive. They're going to sit back. And do you know what? On another day, who knows? Maybe they would have scored one of their counters early on, and then we wouldn't have been able to break down a 10-man defence. But we've got away with the win today, despite the fact it wasn't a very good performance. It was fine. It was okay. Martinelli on the right, how do we think he did? I mean, it was okay. Nothing special. 0 successful dribbles is obviously not good enough, but clearly had an impact defensively. 4 recoveries, 2 out of 2 tackles, 1. He's won 4 duels, lost 11. Oh, you know, a certain Mikel Arteta will not be happy with that. And can I just say as well, amazing to see Santi Cazorla at the stadium. And I've got a feeling he's going to be on the coaching team next year. Obviously, he's still playing at the moment, which is incredible. And maybe if he decides to hang up the boots, we'll see him as part of the coaching staff. There's no doubt in my mind, you know, this is come up before. I believe Arteta wants Santi to be a part of the coaching staff, so it probably is going to happen. I would love that. I really would. Let's talk about the subs as well. We only made 2. Mikel Merino came on and did okay. Thomas Partey just kind of finished the game in midfield and honestly didn't feel like they made any difference. It was just a case of getting some fresh legs on, and that means we are now unbeaten in 5 still. Very good. And we can have a look at the table. I think Ipswich, based off that, they don't excite me. I'm not going to lie, and that they heavily rely on Delap. But obviously, in a game where he's getting no service, what's he meant to do? They sit in 19th. They're 2 points behind Leicester. Southampton are pretty much already gone, if you ask me. And obviously, in one more game, we're officially halfway. So you've got to be looking at Ipswich and thinking at the halfway point, let's say they lose to Chelsea, which they most likely will. They're going to be on 12 points halfway through. And we all know, famously, you need anywhere between 36 and 40 points to stay in the Premier League on average. And I'm telling you, I don't see Southampton, Ipswich or Leicester reaching that. I think Wolves will, and I think Palace will. Everton probably will. I think we're looking at the bottom 3 that will be the bottom 3 come the end of the year or the end of the season. But obviously with that win, we've matched Liverpool's recent record: win, draw, draw, win, win. And we are obviously 6 points behind, but they do have a game in hand. It's not ideal. Obviously, it's not ideal, but all we can do is win the title and not hope that Liverpool lose it, if that makes sense. We can all sit here and hope that Liverpool can lose games and then we'll be there to take advantage of that. But I don't like thinking that way. I honestly believe, and I'm sure the players would agree, and Mikel would say it himself, that it's really important that we just play our games. We need to win the title. Liverpool shouldn't just lose it. I think that there will be a period where Liverpool potentially get an injury or 2, or they just have a bit of a slump in form. We just have to be there to pounce if and when that happens. Isn't this just a mad table, though? Chelsea are, 14 points better off this season than last year? Something like that. Nottingham Forest already got more points this year than they did, this season than they did last season. Newcastle was starting to really put up some points. Massive wins, like 3-0, 4-0. Yeah, unbelievable. Bournemouth killing it. And then you've got Man City in 7th. What is going on? And obviously down here, you've got Tottenham in 12th and United in 14th. It's crazy. It is. It's absolutely crazy. Let's have a look at the fixtures that we've got coming up. Of course, next is Brentford on New Year's Day. Then just 3 days later, it's a trip to Brighton, which is going to be an interesting one. Do I try and get tickets and go again? For those of you who might not remember, I obviously tried to go to that fixture last season. I got myself some tickets, or a ticket. I paid a lot of money for that ticket, and they kicked me out after just 25, 30 minutes because someone recognised me and I was sitting in the home end. They kicked me out. It's just impossible to get Arsenal tickets. So, yeah, if I do that, look out for a man in a mask. It's probably not going to happen, but I hope we'll win that. We should be beating Brentford. They've not been a very forceful side this season like their usual selves. They don't seem to be very consistent. And then we're going into a really, really tough period in the rest of January with Newcastle, United, Tottenham, Villa. I mean, they're all at home and it's 3 different competitions, but that is going to really take its toll. It's a game every 3 days. I mean, literally 3 days, 4 days. 5, but 3 days, 4 days. It's frightening, actually. And I don't think that's fair. I really don't think it's fair, especially when we've already got some pretty significant injuries. But on the whole, guys, a fantastic win. Well done, Arsenal. And being second, I mean, it could be a lot worse, couldn't it? I feel like a lot of Arsenal fans would say it might feel like this season has been worse than it actually is. If you really break it down, we're 3rd in the Champions League group, which is really impressive considering there's well over 30 teams. We're into the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. We're 2nd in the Premier League. And to be fair, we've dealt with some pretty nasty injuries. We had Ødegaard missing for a while. We signed Marino and he wasn't available for 2 months. We've been missing Calafiori and now Saka's out. We've had plenty of red cards and silly suspensions because of that. It's not that bad. So I think one more game and we're halfway, and that's a really good time to reflect. I expect we'll be on 39 points. I would say it's not an awful return. It just could be a bit better. But if we keep our players fit, and this is a big one, if we can recruit something in January, some form of attacking option that can maybe cover for Saka, seeing as he's going to be out for 2-3 months. It doesn't seem like he needs surgery, which is really good news. I think they were fearful that the hamstring had actually come off the bone, which is a frightening injury for a footballer, and you're going to be out for a significant amount of time. But I think it's good news in that regard. So we should see him back in March, maybe late February if we're lucky. But for me, there's no chance we'll catch Liverpool. Well, okay, let me put it this way. There's no way we'll go through the second half of the season and get enough points to win the title if we don't recruit someone. I know we're not going to get the number one target. For me, Isaac is the dream. I know that's not going to happen in January, but there must be something we can do to just reinforce our attacking options, something fresh. I feel like not only is it good that we can replace Saka whilst he's out injured, but it's also just that feeling of having a new face, a new energy in the squad. Anyone else feeling that way? It does feel like we need something just fresh in our attack. We seem very predictable, I think, anyway. But that is that. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed your Christmas. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic New Year as well. And we'll be back with the next Operation Arsenal on New Year's Day. I'm going to go to bed now, and I'm not going to talk. I'm going to rest my voice until tomorrow.